સરસ. તો પછી પહેલા બધું અહીંયા જોઈ લો.
બેડી પૂછ મારી ગઈ, બેડી પૂછ મારી ગઈ, બેડી પૂછ મારી ગઈ.
ઓ ભાઈ, આવી ગયું અમેરિકા.
મને ખૂબ જ ઓવરવેલ્મિંગ ફીલ થાય છે બીકોઝ કારણ કે આપણી સાથે આજે બે ગુજરાતી સુપરસ્ટાર્સ છે. We have two major well-known stars from Gujarati cinema, and actually today is their first UK interview, and I just realized that now before we started today's session. Malhar and Monal, a huge welcome to you on Filme Shilmy, and a huge congratulations on Shubh Yatra.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I mean, you know, it is such a special film as well because I feel, you know, Shubh Yatra really is about that dreams and ambitions of, you know, of going abroad and having a better life. You know, that American dream, as they say. But I think what we're seeing, Ajkal, you know, whether it's Mr. Chatterjee versus Norway or any of those
Wow.
sort of films, we're seeing movies which show a very bleak representation of NRIs and how it's not always the glitz and the glamour aspect. So I think, Malhar, for you to explore this theme, how much were you able to identify with it? And I'm sure you know people abroad, and how much did their experiences come handy for you?
Yeah, there are a lot of people around me, like બહુ લોકોને આઉટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા જવું હોય છે અને આઉટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા જવાનો એક જે ઉત્સાહ હોય છે, મોહ હોય છે કે લાઈક they really anyhow they want to go. That anyhow is representing the character, I feel. કે કોઈ પણ રીતે અમેરિકા જવું કે કોઈ પણ રીતે આઉટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા જવું without knowing the situation there, like it is difficult. I always say there are hurdles there more than India also. I feel sometimes કે મારી આજુબાજુમાં બહુ બધા characters છે, મારી આજુબાજુમાં બધા બહુ લોકો છે કે they really want to go out of India or they really already went, but they are facing the problems, they are struggling with money, crunch, like they are financially not stable yet. I feel that you were good in India, like you have 3 BHK house, going like with car, everything you have, and still you are leaving your main world and going to another world. So I feel there are a lot of people, but I feel મને એવું લાગે છે કે ઘણા બધા લોકો આની આસપાસ જે વિચારી રહ્યા છે એના માટે બહુ ડિફિકલ્ટીઝ છે. એટલે આઈ ફીલ કે જેટલા પણ લોકો જઈ રહ્યા હોય એ પ્યોર હાર્ટથી જાય, મહેનત કરીને જાય, લીગલી જાય, then only you will feel good. બાકી બધું જ ખરાબ છે ત્યાં. એટલે આઈ ફીલ કે બહુ જ બધા ઇશ્યુઝ સાથે લડી રહ્યું છે આઉટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા. સો આઈ વુડ સે કે જસ્ટ જવું તો પ્રોપર જવું, સારી રીતે જવું, બાકી ના જવું.
Absolutely. And Monal, તમારા માટે આ થીમ કેટલું relatable છે?
See, છે ને ઓવરઓલ ઇશ્યુની વાત કરીએ તો જેમ મલ્હારે કીધું એમાં મારે થોડું એડ કરવું છે. In terms of like જ્યારે whoever is thinking to go out and settle there and earn money in dollar, it's not easy because you don't know much people. In India, if something goes wrong, your neighbor will definitely come and stand. Your friends come stand next to you, and it's a very big support, actually, you know. And then if something goes wrong, if you're going to abroad, you may lose your life. And that is the biggest loss. So you have to be very wise to make decision. કેમકે ઓલી કહેવાય ને કે કામ દામ દંડ ભેદ કઈ પણ થાય, બહાર જવું છે એવું ના હોવું જોઈએ. બહુ જ બધી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટીઝ અહીંયા પણ છે અને એને એક્સપ્લોર કરવી જોઈએ, નોલેજ એકઠું કરવું જોઈએ કે અહીંયા શું કરી શકાય. એકચ્યુઅલી તમે જોવા જાવ તો ત્યાં આગળ તમે ડોલરમાં કે પાઉન્ડમાં જ્યારે કમાઓ છો તો તમે ખર્ચા પણ એવા જ કરો છો બેઝિકલી. તો એટલો કોઈ બહુ મોટો તમે પ્રોફિટ નથી કરી લેતા. અગર તમે એટલા ભણેલા ગણેલા છો તો એવી જોબ તો તમને અહીંયા મળી જ જશે જ્યાં આગળ તમે આરામથી ₹1,00,000 કમાઈ શકો છો. અને એવું કહેવાય છે કે આજની પેઢી માટે ખાલી એક પ્રોફેશન નહીં, +1 કે +2 હોવા જોઈએ. એક્સ્ટ્રા ઇન્કમ માટે અલગ એક્ટિવિટી, અમુક અલગ અલગ વસ્તુઓ શીખવી જોઈએ જેનાથી તમારી પેસિવ ઇન્કમ પણ હોય. એક તો સોર્સ ઓફ ઇન્કમ હોય પણ એના સાથે પેસિવ હશે તો એ લાઈફસ્ટાઈલ તમારી થોડી સ્મૂથ થઈ જાય. તો લર્નિંગ પ્રોસેસ હંમેશા ચાલુ રાખવી જોઈએ. મને લાગે છે એ બહુ હેલ્પફુલ થઈ શકે.
Absolutely, no, very well said. And I think આપણે જોવા જાય generally ગુજરાતી સિનેમામાં એક એવું ફેઝ આવી ગયું છે કે we are evolving so beautifully and powerfully as well. It is not just about Khali Haswanu Joy film. Jo Shubh Yatra comedy chip, and there's a very strong social message as well. And I think
Yeah.
one good thing about the makers is that they've not shied away from getting that message across to the viewers as well. તો આપણે જોવા જાય તો ઇવન હિન્દી સિનેમામાં એક એવો ફેઝ આવી ગયો છે where હવે escapist films બહુ ઓછા દેખાય છે and it's more about trying to find engagement through reality. Infotainment જેવી તમે આપણે કહીએ છે એવો એક ફેઝ આવી ગયો છે. તો મલ્હાર, how wonderful and progressive is this current phase in Gujarati cinema, and what can we do to encourage more such stories to come forward?
It's a beautiful phase right now. I feel there are a lot of subjects, new stories to be tell, new stories to be conclude, new stories to be build, new directors to become. So like a lot of things are happening in a very great way. I am honored that I am sharing a screen with a lot of directors, a lot of people, those who are new, those who are seniors, masters, newcomers. So for now, the phase is very beautiful in terms of subject, in terms of technical. But to encourage a great cinema, I would say you choose subject wisely. You promote such subject on a greater level. You do a if you do a marketing, do it all out, or else don't waste your money in like some small promotions, or don't get fooled by the event people in Gujarat. So I would say there are a lot of things to be told yet, but people are like progressing. I would say the subjects which I got offered before 3 years, they were very different. Now the subjects are very relevant, very new, very innovative ideas. So the phase is for directors and storytellers. I would say not for the actors, but if actors perform super well, they will get another great 5 years uh, phase.
Right. Of course. And I think also, Malhar, I think when you began, your first lead role, I think was what, Cello Divas, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
and again, that was such a different film. Like, even though it was, uh, a comedy, but yet it was a very much relatable film. वो जो एक
yeah,
realistic कहते हैं ना, that was basically, the sort of thing it was. So
yeah,
do you
yeah,
feel like because of the fact that you entered the industry at that point where it was a very distinct film from what we have seen before or known before,
yeah.
I think that's what's really contributed towards you getting that style of work going forward as well.
હું એમ કહીશ કે છે ને જ્યારે છેલ્લો દિવસ અમે લોકોએ કરી ત્યારે we didn't know we are like setting an era, like era of a new Gujarati movie. We didn't know about it. We just worked on very dedicatedly. We didn't ask for anything except script and role and just workshops and everything. So I I would say કે જે એ વખતે ફેઝ હતો અને અત્યારે જે ફેઝ છે એમાં ઘણો બધો ચેન્જ આવ્યો છે. ઓફકોર્સ જે બેન્ચમાર્ક થયું છે, જે સરસ ફિલ્મ બની છેલ્લો દિવસ અને એના પછી જે આખી વાર્તા ફરી જેનાથી લોકો ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ સુધી પહોંચે, એટલે ઓફકોર્સ એનો એનો રોલ બહુ મોટો છે. પણ આફ્ટર છેલ્લો દિવસ એક્ટર્સ શું કર્યું એ બહુ વધારે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. કારણ કે ઓફકોર્સ તમે ઘણું બધું કામ કરી, સ્ટ્રગલ કરી, મહેનત કરીને છેલ્લો દિવસમાં કામ કર્યું. હવે છેલ્લો દિવસમાં તમારો ફેસ જો વખણાતો હોય, તમારી તારીફ થતી હોય, તમારા વખાણ થતા હોય, તો આફ્ટર ધેટ વોટ વિલ યુ ડુ, દેટ વોઝ અ ટાસ્ક કે હવે હું શું કરીશ. તો બીકોઝ બહુ જ અલગ લેવલ પર ફેમ હતી, બહુ અલગ લેવલ પર દુનિયા હતી, લોકો સુધી પહોંચેલી. આફ્ટર ધેટ આઈ ચૂઝ અ ડિફરન્ટ ફિલ્મ ફ્રોમ છેલ્લો દિવસ. સો બેન્ચમાર્ક સેટ કરવા માટે ઓર પ્રેસિડેન્ટ કંઈક મેજર કરવા માટે ઓફકોર્સ એક તક બહુ જરૂરી છે, પણ બીજી તકને કઈ રીતે લેવી ને એ બહુ વધારે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. દેટ્સ વોટ આઈ ફીલ.
Very true. And I think the most beautiful thing about Shubh Yatra also, and the fact that we have Hakse, a pan-Indian actress amongst us, this of course Monal. So I think, we definitely can be very proud of you about that as well, of course, Monal. I think it's wonderful to see that. And the fact that obviously like superstar Nayanthara is also producing Shubh Yatra. I
Yeah.
mean, it is that it's such a wonderful collaboration. It's so rare and few. I don't think, I mean, this might just be the first I think we've seen, like maybe a South and Gujarati collaboration, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Correct.
I mean, Monal, tell me about your experience, because you began in the industry, I think, with what, a Telugu film, and then of course you did that movie with the Asha Bhosle, Mai, as well. So at that point in time, did you ever imagine yourself to really be a voice for pan-Indian actors across the slate?
So, Mai was basically my first movie, and it doesn't have a very big part to play. I was playing a younger daughter, and that I don't think so. I hardly notice myself in the film because there's only one scene they shot. But there has when I was doing my director told me after this one big. I would like to share one incident.
Please,
Um,
please.
so when I was doing a Mai, it was a one full round table family discussion, and there's a very big long shot.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was telling the dialogue, and I said, मैं माई को नहीं लेके जाऊंगी क्योंकि हम लोग फॉरेन जा रहे हैं हॉलीडे के लिए. दिस इज माई लाइन.
Hmm.
वो लॉन्ग शॉट में चली गई. After 2 hours of waiting, my director came and told my uncle, I don't think so Monal know acting. तो
Oh,
I don't think so हम इसको continue कर सकते हैं. So my idea of chopping the role. And then I didn't say, I felt very bad about that. And I think in a 1 month, I started working in Telugu, then Tamil and Malayalam. Every industry taught me so much as an actor. Because when you're working in a different language, you're making extra effort to know the language and the people and the subject. Because when we work in our own language, it's a comfort zone basically. તમે થોડા
yes.
કેરલેસ થઈ જાઓ, થોડા બિંદાસ થઈ જાઓ. તમને ખબર છે કે નહીં, હું લાઈન ભૂલી જઈશ તો મને મલ્હાર યાદ કરાવી જ દેશે કે અરે તારી આ હતી. So and when you work in a different language, you have to make extra effort, extra focus to make impact in their cinema. Okay, because working style is a very very different. So I think I all the industry, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, every industry taught me so much. But I'm so grateful to be a part of Gujarati. Let me mention this, like me and Malhar has worked. It's in my first individual movie in the Gujarati was Thaijashe, and that was the Malhar solo movie was Thaijashe together, and that was my starting in Gujarati industry.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
amazing.
it was a very wonderful experience. So, and then so many people has told us about after watching Shubh Yatra is like, we feel a little bit Thaijashe impact on, like, it's a kind of feel of Thaijashe when we saw Shubh Yatra, because it's like Thaijashe was also a kind of a village guy coming to the place and making change for a house. He want to buy a house. In the same way, this village guy is coming to Ahmedabad and go to America, and he don't know the process, what is how visa goes and how passport goes, and he don't know anything, and he's just getting the trap. So how he's getting out and all, that's the journey. So I think it's a wonderful experience working in Shubh Yatra. Manish sir was a great, and working with Malhar was also one of the, I can say, a major thing which I enjoyed.
Right. No,
Same here.
that's so sweet. No, and I think, Malhar, I think, what Monal just said is a very interesting perspective, because, I feel what happens most of the time, especially when it comes to Hindi films, I feel often when actors are not given that opportunity, it is always non-Hindi movies, like whether it is South or whether it's Gujarati, Punjabi. I feel, I don't want to use the word regional, but non-Hindi cinema often gives them that platform that really does justice to their craft as actors. I have seen it with my own eyes, and I've heard experiences as well, where perhaps an actor who might have just done a supporting role in Hindi ends up becoming a superstar of that language of cinema, which is incredible. But do you know, Malhar, has there ever been a sense of struggle, I think, in your life as well, where, you know, you've unfortunately not been given that due credit in Hindi, and you've had to kind of, sort of rely on Gujarati, which is, I mean, worked out better anyway in your favor. But has there ever been that sort of a phase in your life as well?
સી અમે જયારે નાટકો કરતા હતા ને અનુજભાઈ, ત્યારે કેવું હતું કે મારી સ્ટ્રગલ બહુ એવી રહી છે કે ઝીરો પહેલા એક સીનમાં ઉભા હોઈએ, પછી 2 સીનમાં દેખાઈએ, પછી 3 સીનમાં દેખાઈએ, એમ કરી 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 અને આઈ કુડ ડુ અ લીડ રોલ ઇન પ્લે. Then after I could do a cameos in Gujarati film. Then I did a solo film. So there was a long struggle time. So like phase wise હું એમ કહીશ કે બધું જે થયું એ ઓફકોર્સ લર્નિંગ પ્રોસેસ છે, પણ નાટકોનો અનુભવ, નાટકોના જે રોલ મળવા, નાટકોમાં જે બધું થવું એ એ બરાબર થયું છે. જે થયું છે પ્રોસેસ એની આગળ વધી, લોકો સુધી પહોંચ્યા. તો ફોર મી, મારા માટે એ એ એ જે ફ્રેમ ઓફ વર્ક છે ને, દેટ વોઝ ગુડ. એટલે એના પછી જે કામ મળ્યું એ આફ્ટર ઓફકોર્સ નાટકો પછી આનો અનુભવ થયો, અને અનુભવે જ મને ફિલ્મો આપીને ફિલ્મોમાં આનો અનુભવ કામ લાગ્યો ઓફકોર્સ. એટલે આઈ વુડ સે કે સાઇડ લાઇન તો થતા હોઈએ, થોડા સાઇડ આઉટ રહેતા હોઈએ, થોડા આમ આમ દૂર રહેતા હોઈએ, ઓછું કામ મળે જે મળે સારું મળે, બસ એ જ. દેટ વોઝ ઓનલી અ થોટ ઇન. એટલે બાકી બહુ વિચારીને કંઈ લાઈફને વિચારી નથી. પણ હવે શું કરવું ને એ બહુ મોટો ટાસ્ક હોય છે. આફ્ટર ગેટિંગ ફેમ, આફ્ટર ગેટિંગ અ ગુડ પ્રોજેક્ટ, પછી શું કરશો, દેટ ઇઝ ઓલવેઝ અ ટાસ્ક.
Very
I will like to add something on Malhar said. Like, you just said, what about Hindi stuff and all? No, I must say Malhar is literally ruling a Gujarati industry. Lots of producers, director actually expect Malhar to do the film, but he doesn't have enough date, and he's been very wise and choosy when it's come to script. So even if he's getting some Hindi project, he will definitely give a preference to Gujarati cinema because that's very close to his heart, which I know. That's why I just add on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
No, true. I can imagine. I mean, I've heard so much, to be honest, and I think interviewing Malhar has definitely been on my radar for a longest amount of time. And I think I'm just very
Thank
lucky
you.
I got you as well, Monal, as well as a wonderful sort of surprise too. I'm very happy about that. But I think Monal, I would love to know your sort of journey, so to speak. I think in South too. I mean, I know you just touched on that. But I mean, you've done some incredible work in Telugu films as well, and I think even on television too. There, I think you were on Big Boss at some point as well.
Yeah, in Telugu Big Boss in 2020, Corona time.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that was very interesting. So but in terms of one thing that I love about, I think like I said, in the non-Hindi belt is the fact that they maintain the audiences ne pakri ne rakhe che. Like especially if you look at South, it's wonderful whether it was 10 years ago or now, that base has only increased. So in terms of you sort of becoming a recognized face there, how would you describe that yatra in South Indian films and the non-Hindi circuit?
Okay, so it's quite a journey. I had like literally a share market graph. I must say it's always ups, down, ups, downs, ups, downs. But every down, I take deep breath and I just try. Okay, this is gonna be a big jump, and it's always comes with a little struggle. So when I started my Telugu, I was very worried because I don't know the language, and these people are quite new for me. But they were nice, But I was always outsider. I found amongst all the language which I worked, I found Malayalam was the most difficult language for me to work. Being vegetarian, it's very difficult to survive there. You just cannot, and I find that is the only language where I felt like, oh God, I can't do it again, or maybe I need lots of work to do. Otherwise, I have done good job in South, and I can speak Telugu now. Thanks to the Big Boss and a couple of the reality show I did as a judge. I feel as an actor, you are so privileged to touch different land and learn new culture and learn about everything. So for me, when I'm working in Gujarati or when I'm working in Hindi or when I'm working in any language, for me, it's cinema. And I say cinema is for me, it's my second mother, literally a second mother, which has given me name, fame, and this place where I'm able to communicate and share my thoughts with you. So, and I'm always grateful, especially being Gujarati and working in South, it was quite difficult, trust me. And they accept me with open heart. Like, એવું કહેવાય ને કે પોતાની માને તો પોતાના દીકરા ગમે જ. Like, હમ અમારી લેંગ્વેજમાં આપણે આપણી લેંગ્વેજમાં કરીએ, એમાં કઈ નવું નથી. પણ ક્યાંક બહાર જઈને કંઈક કરીને આવો ને તો એક અચીવમેન્ટ કહેવાય. હું એમ નથી કહેતી કે મને બહુ અવોર્ડ મળી ગયા, બટ yeah, in a way it was a journey, struggle, learn, ups and downs, but I made it through. Happy for that.
Beautiful. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. In fact, Monal, I think I want you to be my Telugu teacher because I really want to learn the language. I watched so many amazing films. Like I watched this great film recently called Virupaksha. It was wonderful in Telugu. I was very impressed by it. So there's so much there to learn. And when we talk about that resonance with the common person, like I was talking about Sir, I think Malhar here, I think is a huge testament to that. I mean, the one thing that I love especially about him is that the roles he plays, the superstardom is not just a status that he encompasses, but he makes people who exist in the ordinary life and brings them to screen, which is what I find a lot. And that's why I think he has definitely reached that stage as well, Malhar. So I think when you play characters, no matter how or what scale it's on, do you always feel that the Malhar that you were when you were a newcomer, do you always feel that innocence? Do you feel like you have to go back to that innocence every time you portray that character?
See, I can't leave my roots unless I will be with my roots only. એટલે મારામાં કોઈ ચેન્જ આવ્યો નથી. મારા નાટકના ફ્રેન્ડ્સ બી એવા ને એવા છે. મારા when I read the script, I feel કે આ લોકોને કેવું લાગશે જ્યારે પહેલા વાંચતો હતો ત્યારે. એક્ટિંગમાં ઓફકોર્સ પ્રોગ્રેસ થાય, સંબંધો બનાવવામાં પ્રોગ્રેસ થાય, પણ મારું જે ઓનેસ્ટી છે, મારું ડેડિકેશન છે, મારી જે લાઈફસ્ટાઈલ છે એ બહુ બેઝિક અને એવી ને એવી જ રહી છે. એટલે ઇટ્સ લાઈક વેરી પેશન્ટ નોર્મલ, જેવી રીતે આપણે દુનિયા જોતા હોઈએ એવી રીતે. એટલે મારામાં એ ઇનોસન્સ ઓફકોર્સ એનું એ જ રહ્યું છે. મારામાં ઓફકોર્સ થોડું બિઝનેસ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂથી બિઝનેસ માઇન્ડ ખુલ્યું છે, પણ એમાં ઇનોસન્સ નથી ગયું. આઈ ઓલવેઝ રિસ્પેક્ટ એવરીબડી. મારા રૂટને ક્યારે મેં છોડ્યા નથી. પ્લસ મારા જેટલા પણ જૂના નાટકનાથી લઈને જેટલા પણ મિત્રો છે, જેટલા પણ સર છે, ટીચર્સ છે, ગુરુ છે, એ બધાની સાથે હમણાં પણ હું કનેક્ટેડ છું. અને હમણાં પણ હું ઘણું બધું કરી રહ્યો છું. એટલે એ ઇનોસન્સ ક્યારે જવાનું નથી. અને ઇનોસન્ટ જે બિહેવિયર છે ઓફકોર્સ સારું જ છે અને લોકોને ગમે છે. અને મારું એકચ્યુઅલી ઓનેસ્ટલી હું આવું જ છું. એટલે આઈ કેન ચેન્જ માય સેલ્ફ ફોર અધર પીપલ, રાઈટ? આઈ કેન જસ્ટ ડિઝાઇન માય સેલ્ફ ફોર અ વાઇલ કે ભાઈ આને હું આવો નથી ગમતો, પણ ઇફ યુ ડોન્ટ લાઈક, આઈ કેન ચેન્જ માય સેલ્ફ ફોર અ વાઇલ, બટ આઈ કાન્ટ ચેન્જ ફ્રોમ માય ઇનર સોલ ઓર ફ્રોમ ઇન એન્ડ આઉટ. લાઈક હું આવો ને આવો જ છું વર્ષોથી. એટલે મારું ઇનોસન્સ ક્યારે ગયું નથી, મારી ઓનેસ્ટી ક્યારે ગઈ નથી, મારું ડેડિકેશન ક્યારે ગયું નથી. એટલે અને ઓફકોર્સ હવે તો શું જશે એમ, હવે તો નહીં જાય એમ.
For sure. No, absolutely. No, that's very, very well said. And I think even Monal as well, આપણે છે ને એક એવો ફેઝમાં આવ્યા છે કે I'm so proud and happy to see the stories of women presented so beautifully. And there was that whole notion before that women telling women stories is very effective. But actually, I saw two films recently at the festival that's playing here in UK. Two films which are made by male filmmakers, but they've told the stories of women so beautifully. And I think for you as an actor as well, I mean, the fact that we've got someone like Nayanthara who's been an embodiment of very strong roles, and she is, like you said before, the lady superstar. So when you kind of look at like sort of inspirations like that, or other perhaps exemplary works, how do you feel women's stories can be told more effectively? What can be done to continue this momentum, do you think?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Every maker has a different point of view and a way of telling the cinema. Some people like to say it with the dialogues, some people like to say it with a story, and some people have a different narrative altogether. So it's a vision, I must say. And some actors like Nayanthara, she is being so lucky and wise to choose the script to be a part of it, and she knows the power of cinema. Like, when the story is good, the director is good. Sometimes you need a story to told properly to the audience, not the casting, I must say. Like, because in our film, when we were doing a Shubh Yatra, we were all the character, like Malhar being Mohan and Hardik being like being Hardik, me being Saraswati Veena Devi. We all were playing a character. So like, I think it depends on the makers. It's make a very, very big difference, and the story, as an actor, it's a responsibility to choose your subject, what you want to portray. Like for me, the story which touched me even it is a very small role, I trust the maker and I just do it. That's my way of working in a cinema or choosing the script.
Right.
Because in the measure of the movie, story is being told by generally by a male. It's a male perspective, whatever is happening, and that the female is the part of it. The very few movie has been made which is has like proper female point of view.
Sure. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
And
Definitely.
Anuj, and Malhar go for my lesson,
All
and
right.
so I will like to say bye and thank you, Anuj. Nice talking to you
No
and
problem,
connect.
Monal. It was so good to speak to you. Thank you, Monal, for joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, bye, Malhar.
Thank you.
Bye, Manoj. Bye.
So yeah, Malhar, I think what I wanted to ask you as well, is that, we were talking about women empowerment and stuff like that. In fact,
Yeah,
I think you were part of a very beautiful film last year called Majama,
correct.
which obviously, even though it was in Hindi, but it really showcase Gujarati life. Not, of course, it celebrates the colors that we have in our culture, Garba and all of that, but it also does justice to the LGBTQIA community, and it really shatters previous caricatures that Hindi cinema may have done before of Gujaratis or any other non-Hindi speaking cultures. So, for you, how much has that really played a role, I think, in terms of doing such characters, taking up such roles.
એટલે પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ પર પ્રમાણે ઘણું બધું બદલાતું હોય છે, ઘણી બધી વાર્તાઓ કહેવાતી હોય છે. હું મારી વાત કરું તો મને ઇફ આઈ લાઈક ધ સબ્જેક્ટ, ઇફ આઈ રિયલી લવ માય કેરેક્ટર, આઈ વિલ ગો ફોર ઇટ. ઓફકોર્સ મજામાં વોઝ વિથ અ બિગ સ્ટાર કાસ્ટ, એટલો મોટો રોલ નતો, પણ મજા એટલા માટે હતી કે આનંદ તિવારી વોઝ અ ફ્રેન્ડ. એમણે મને કાસ્ટ કરવા માટે ડિરેક્ટલી ફોન કર્યો. અ, સાથે માધુરી દીક્ષિત, ગજરાજ રાવ, આટલા બધા સુંદર કલાકારો, એટલે આઈ વુડ નોટ મિસ દેટ ચાન્સ ટુ પરફોર્મ. પછી વાર્તા ઓફકોર્સ એનું કામ કરતું હોય છે, પણ એ જે રીતે બતાવવામાં આવ્યું છે, જે રીતે ફિલ્મને દર્શાવવામાં આવી છે, લોકોએ ખૂબ કનેક્ટ કરી છે વાતને, કે આ બહુ નાનો ટોપિક છે, પણ એટલે છે બહુ મોટો ટોપિક, પણ બહુ આસાનીથી નાની રીતે સમજાવવામાં આવી રહ્યો છે.
જી.
સો આઈ વોન્ટેડ ટુ બી અ પાર્ટ ઓફ દેટ ફિલ્મ, અને આઈ લવ દેટ. એટલે અને ત્યાંનું અલગ દુનિયા છે, ત્યાંના અલગ લોકો છે, ત્યાંનું અલગ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ છે, અલગ દુનિયા, અલગ એક વર્લ્ડ છે. દે મેક ધેર ફિલ્મ એવરી ડે, દે મેક ધેર ફિલ્મ બેટર. એટલે દેટ વોઝ અ ગ્રેટ એક્સપિરિયન્સ. અને નાનું કંઈ કરવા મળે પણ મજા આવે તો કરી લેવું જોઈએ. દેટ્સ વોટ આઈ ઓલવેઝ ફીલ.
Absolutely. And what would you say is something that you are very keen in exploring next, Malhar? Because you've already established yourself as a huge star. Everyone knows the great body of work you've done. But આગળ જાતા તમને શું લાગે છે કે હા આવો રોલ મને હવે કરવો છે?
હું આગળના સમયમાં કરવાનો છું. નાના અલગ પ્રકારની ફિલ્મો કરી રહ્યો છું. અલગ વાર્તાઓ આવશે, અલગ કેરેક્ટર આવશે. ઓફકોર્સ શુભ યાત્રા ફોર મી ઇટ ઇઝ ઓફકોર્સ ડિફરન્ટ કેરેક્ટર. પણ લોકો સુધી હજી જે વાર્તાઓ કહેવાવી જોઈએ, જે વાર્તાઓ આવવી જોઈએ, એ આવશે.
જી.
I am doing a mystery, which is a comedy road thriller.
Wow.
The one is this on the film of a destination wedding and puzzle. The third, which I liked, is about family drama and entrepreneurship. So there are stories. It's still yet to tell. So it is in the pipeline. Hopefully, it will come.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. But no, look, I mean, Malhar, it's been such a pleasure to have both you and Mola. I know she had to drop off because of her classes, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me and taking the
Thank
time
you.
out to speak with me. The fact that this was your first UK interview, God, I feel very honored.
I was supposed to come to UK in last, I think, before 6-7 months, but we couldn't get. I got a visa, but my team didn't got a visa. So the film got delayed. So hopefully by this year end, I would love to come to UK for sure.
Please, ના, તમે જ્યારે આવો ને, please મને message કરજો, આપણે મળશું.
100%,
Definitely London.
100%.
We'll definitely meet
For
for sure.
sure. For sure. For sure. Okay, brother.
Okay, Malhar,
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining
Thank
me.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very, very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.